Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, wrestling fans around the world, Aussieverse here live and in living colour. That's right, I stole that from somebody you might know. This is our first Aussieverse wrestling show. I am OmniBeau and I am graciously, humbly joined by Batmantha. How are you going, Batmantha? Thank you very much for joining.
No worries. I'm good. Thanks, Beau.
So glad.
Looking forward to talking about some Royal Rumble craziness.
Absolutely. Oh man, I hope this goes well because I want to do this every month. Maybe not the predictions and facts like we're going to do tonight, but definitely the review after every pay-per-view. If I can find enough information before the pay-per-views about things, then yeah, maybe we'll see how we go. I see you're rocking that CM Punk shirt.
Of course.
Nice one.
Of course, supporting my favorite.
Well, this is a shirt that I never plan on throwing away. It's mirrored, so it's not OWN. It is the NWO. Wolfpack for life.
I can see it properly.
Oh, you can? Okay, cool. We already have some comments here. So we've got Gozzy Boy 1989 saying Donald Trump appearance. Well, you never know. You never know. He has been there a couple of times. Kryptonite Kid with the same comment, but a little different. Ronald Rump appears. We have Claudia, my better half. Hey, thank you for joining us, of course. Javier, how you going? Thank you so much for joining us for this one. Hey, y'all. And Leonard Butler, thank you very much as well. Cena and Charlotte to win their respective Royal Rumble matches. Well, that's what
dropping the prediction early.
Yeah, exactly right. That's what we're here to discuss. First of all, how do you feel about it being in February?
It's a bit weird, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know. At least it's something to look forward to this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. I'm so glad we get to see it live as well, and it's not on a Monday like some other pay-per-views where I'm working. So
oh yeah,
I am pumped. There's also the kickoff show tomorrow for some reason. I'm guessing it's on YouTube. So for people that like those kickoff shows, go check out the Royal Rumble kickoff show tomorrow, and then obviously the Royal Rumble big event on Sunday here in Australia. But before we go into our predictions and blah, 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 let's go into some Royal Rumble facts that I've managed to get. These are all courtesy of a YouTube channel that I pretty much watch every day. It's called WrestleLamia. They are really such a great wrestling channel. Every day they have all the news around the world about wrestling. First of all, Samantha, do you watch any wrestling YouTube shows?
Not really, just the some of the gossipy ones.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, I guess that's what you call mine. Well, this one's pretty factual. It's got a lot of it's got the gossip, but it's also got what's really happening in the world, in the wrestling world as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do watch some that I do like some post-review shows and interviews. I'm a big fan of Fightful.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
My friends over at Fightful.
And Ross Sapp.
Yes.
Okay, so here are some facts that if you did not know. Now, I'm sure there are plenty more Royal Rumble facts out there. This has been going for, 30 years or so. So there is plenty and plenty of stuff that has happened. I didn't decide to write them all down because there's unscripted moments in the Royal Rumble. There's things that have gone wrong in the Royal Rumble. There has been many, many things. So I've just highlighted a few that I thought were noteworthy. In 2021 Royal Rumble, Omos, the big man himself, eliminated 2 people and then was never even in the match. You're not even in the match, and he's eliminated 2 people. It brings me to a point. How do you feel about the loose rules with the Royal Rumble? I'm alluding to more like, somebody's been eliminated. And then they come back and eliminate other people.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But there's some exceptions. That happened in, was it 2004, 2005? Didn't Shawn Michaels eliminate Kurt Angle and then Kurt Angle came back in and eliminated Shawn?
Oh, God, maybe. I mean, this is why I need to write it all down because the last 20 years are all.
I think that's
one
what set up
Royal Rumble.
the feud and the match at WrestleMania 21.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I hate it as well. It really annoys me. Like, I don't mind the loose rule about weapons and DQs because and tell me if I'm wrong, but we as the fans assume that weapons and no disqualification, all that's allowed because we see that. But then there was a Royal Rumble at one point. I don't think I've written it down here. No, but Fit Finlay came in using his shillelagh and he got disqualified from the Royal Rumble. And that's the only time I remember.
I can't even remember that.
Well, that's the only time I remember somebody being disqualified from a Royal Rumble. And it's weird because, you don't see that. People use weapons and people do all sorts of dodgy stuff. But he got eliminated.
Weapons aren't commonly used, though, are they?
Chairs, maybe, sometimes. No, I guess not commonly. I
can't remember the last time I saw weapons, but I don't think it should be a DQ. No,
I think it depends on the character. Like, I think if there's a character that's known for being hardcore and using weapons, then they may typically do it. Like, back in the hardcore days, or I can't remember what year it was, but there was a good 10 minutes or so with like Terry Funk and Mick Foley and a few other people where it was just, and Raven, and it was just like literally a hardcore Royal Rumble for a good 5-10 minutes. Yeah. That's correct. Set up that awesome match at Wrestle 20. There you go. You were right. Zaz, thank you very much for joining
another rule. Another rule I hate, or I've started to really dislike, is that rule when if you're eliminated, both feet touch the floor. But sometimes if you land on your back and your feet don't touch the floor, in my opinion, that should be an elimination. I think Kofi did it once.
Yeah. Well,
I like some of the stuff, like some of the gymnastic stuff. I think Katie Catanzaro did it a couple of years ago, where she walked on her hands. There's been a few others.
Yeah,
jumping from the rope back to the ring, and
I remember Naomi doing that once
with the chair, right?
No, sorry, I don't know if it was the same one or if it was 2 different years, but one year she hopped on the chair. You're right. And she jumped towards the ring. But then there was another one where she did the handstand. No, I think it was the same one. She did a handstand to the chair, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was one, though. I don't think it was last year. It could have been the year before, where she was about to be eliminated, and then she hung on to the barricade.
Yeah.
And her feet were like that close to the ground, but it was perfect.
Yeah. Which Kofi Kingston tried to replicate and stuffed up. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
It was not meant to go out that early, but he did. The poor guy, I wonder if he's given up on that stuff by now after that, because the last, I think, couple of years it hasn't worked for him. So I wonder if he's like, no, I'm not going to try that stuff anymore. We'll find out this Sunday. Matt, how you going, man? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining. I used to watch Wrestling Days and other channels like a jobber, but then I found a way better channel to watch. It's called Aussieverse. It's for life, from the womb to the tomb. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Uncanny Sweet 97 feels like the right time to have Punk win the Rumble. Does it ever? You can drag the Cena story out to Elimination Chamber and it'll still work. 100% agree. 100%. Hey, done it a few times. I can't remember what that's in relation to, Sean. I'm so sorry. KJB, brother, thank you so much for being here as well. Evening all, pulling up a seat to learn about this wrestling thing. All right. Well, this is also a good time to say we want to all go give a thank you to not only the people joining us here tonight, but also our paid members. We call them 4 lifers, and that is Azrael85, Ali, still only 35 cents, Ben Sullivan, Bitter Strange, Simple Simon, and KJB. We love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. Without you, we probably wouldn't be able to make as much content as we do. And for everybody else out there, please don't feel like this is a requirement. It is not. The best way to support Aussieverse is by liking the videos and subscribing. Moving on. Okay, so that's my first. We only went through one fact. Okay, 2 wrestlers competed in the Royal Rumble in 4 different decades. Can you pick who they may be? It is a bit hard, It is a bit hard, but
Was Ric Flair one of them?
No, actually, that's a great guess. Yeah, I would have thought Ric Flair too. It's only 2 wrestlers. Ho!
Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's one. And the other one...
When was his last Rumble?
He made an appearance, I think it was like 2021, or it was a pretty late one. It was fairly recent.
Okay.
Which was quite a shocker to everybody. John Cena, no, he's not done 4 decades, I'm sorry to say. The other Honky Tonk Man, okay, no, that's a good guess too. But no, Roddy Piper, that's also another good guess. But no, the only other man other than Hacksaw Jim Duggan to wrestle in 4 different decades is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I should have got that.
It's obvious once you know the answer, though. You know?
It is.
All right. The classic now pointing at the sign of WrestleMania when you win the Royal Rumble. When did that start, and who was the first man to do it?
That's a recent thing, right? I think that's in the last 10 years.
A bit more. This is what happens when you get older, though. You know,
it's
you think
fairly recent, though, right? Like it's a fairly recent thing.
Yeah, well, it's in the 2000s, if that helps.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I watched something about this, or read something about this. It wasn't Cena, was it?
It was Cena, and it was 2008. You know, technically, I can't remember who it was.
That's in the last 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah. The real fact is that someone actually did it just before him, but it wasn't at the Royal Rumble starting the road to WrestleMania. So the first person to officially do it after the Royal Rumble to start the road was John Cena, 2008.
Interesting.
Who got the record for most wrestlers to eliminate one wrestler? Sorry, hang on. What does that mean? What have I written that? Most wrestlers to eliminate one wrestler. That doesn't make sense. I haven't written that right. Okay, who has the record of eliminating most men in one Royal Rumble?
That's better. Well, I remember it used to be Kane, right? Was that the 2001 or 2002 Rumble?
I don't think I've got this right. I've written
most
I think
wrestlers. That's been beaten.
Yeah, because it has. Because you're right.
It's been beaten recently.
I've lost track of what this figure is. I've got Viscera in 2007. Oh, sorry. I know what it is. Okay, I'm going to rephrase it. I did not write it right. The record for the most amount of men to eliminate one person.
Oh, okay.
It's Viscera in 2007. It took 9 men.
Wow.
See, this is
and it only took one woman to get the Great Khali over the top rope.
That'll teach you, won't it? See, it's the first episode, so you know there's bound to be a couple of mistakes and lessons learned. Okay. Okay, who has the record for the worst Royal Rumble entries? As in, they've been in it a few times and they've had the worst amount of all time in the Royal Rumbles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
All I can think about right now is Santino and that elimination where he came in and then he was out.
Yeah, true.
Is it him?
And that's a good guess. No, it's not. That's a good guess though. It's actually the Great Khali. He has been in nine Royal Rumbles.
9.
Which I wouldn't have believed, but yes, he has.
I remember him from 1.
Yeah. He's been in 9, and his total time in Royal Rumbles over 9 is 20 minutes and 47 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. Luke the Bushwhacker is a good guess because I'm pretty sure Luke is the one that started the whole in and out.
Right.
Yeah, I remember laughing at that when I was a kid. He comes in like this, and then he gets thrown out, and he just keeps going. No stop. The Big Show has never been eliminated by a group, which is a fact that you wouldn't expect, because I don't know about you, but when I think of all these big men, in my memory banks, all of these big guys have always been eliminated by a group of people. And the Big Show has never been eliminated by a group. He's always been eliminated by one person.
I remember when Benoit eliminated him.
I remember when I was about to say Maven, but he did The Undertaker. That was the big shock for. I remember that. And then the next year he tried to do it again, and he couldn't.
Yeah.
All right. The 2024, just last year, Aussie curse. That's right.
Okay.
The Australian curse in the 2024 Royal Rumble. Both of the first people were Australian in the men and the women's Royal Rumble. The men's was Grayson Waller.
Mm-hmm.
The women was Indy Hartwell.
Okay.
And they both were eliminated fairly easily, very, very easily. Australians did not do well in the Royal Rumble last year. Bar, thank you very much for joining us. What time is it in Israel right now? What is Brie Larson doing here?
Best compliment ever. Thank you, Bar.
Okay, we don't have many more now.
Australians can't win everything. I mean, you guys won it, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, no, Rhea Ripley won it last year. No,
didn't
the year
Rhea
before.
win it 2 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't know about you, man, but I would die for an Australian stable. I would just love to see that. Grayson Waller, Rhea Ripley. What's the big guy's name that's out for a little bit? I've gone blank. Starts with a B. He just joined.
I thought you were going to say Duke Hudson.
Yeah. Well, I just want all the Aussies in a group, man. It's 9:17 a.m. Perfect timing then. You just woke up. Being thrown out over the top rope should be nothing for the Big Show, being he was thrown off the top of the stadium as the giant in WCW. Yeah, good call. Bronson Reed. Thank you very much, Leonard. Yes, right. Bronson Reed. Imagine all those guys together, man. That'd be freaking sick.
I love Bronson Reed.
Yeah, me too. All right, I've only got, I think, 3 more here. Okay, who has the record for being the last man eliminated in Royal Rumbles? And how many Royal Rumbles?
Like always the last man?
Not always, but this person has the record for being the last man being eliminated.
Is it someone who's competing in this year's Rumble?
It is.
Is it Cena?
No.
Ooh. Nope, I'm out.
It is Roman Reigns. He has the most last man standing eliminations in 2014, 2017, 2018, and 2020.
Wow.
Bar, what is the Royal Rumble? I'll let you answer this one.
The Royal Rumble is the greatest PLE in wrestling. It's my favorite anyway. It is a match that takes place every year. They have a men's Royal Rumble and a women's Royal Rumble where there's 30 competitors, and at the end there can only be one winner. Eliminations, God, I feel like I'm Lillian Garcia or something. Eliminations occur when people are thrown over the top rope and both feet must touch the floor. And yeah, there's a new wrestler that comes out every, is it 90 seconds or 2 minutes?
Yeah,
it depends on the match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There can only be one winner, and winner goes on to main event or co-main event or
triple threat. Yeah.
Headlines a match at WrestleMania. Should be the main event.
What have I got here? Oh, man, I really need to write my notes better. Lesson learned for next time. I've written 2023 Royal Rumble number 1 and number 30. Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense. 2023 Royal Rumble. The number 1 spot and the number 30 spot were the last 2. Gunther.
Say that again.
The 2023 Royal Rumble, the first entrant and the 30th entrant were the last 2 standing.
Cody Rhodes and Gunther?
Yes. Oh, I've never seen wrestling, to be honest, so I know nothing about it. Well, that just makes it all the more special.
This is the perfect time to start. If you've never seen a wrestling event, the Royal Rumble is the perfect event. You don't need to know anything going in. It's really fun. If you're like me and you can't focus on anything for more than 5 minutes, it's great because someone new comes in every 2 minutes and it's like a completely new match.
Plus, it makes it even more special that you're actually watching this show, Bar, when you know nothing about it. So thank you very much. Batmantha.
Now that's a compliment.
You flashbacks to old school Howard Finkel. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
no. Okay. Last fact that I have here is the 2023 and 2024 married couples in the Royal Rumble. 2023 had Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch both entering their respective Royal Rumbles. Both entered at number 15. 2024 saw Jimmy Uso and Naomi entering their respective Royal Rumbles, both entering at number 2. I don't know why they've made them those same numbers, but there you go. That's never been done before in wrestling history, just those last 2 years. Samantha, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
How do you feel about, when I was growing up, maybe it's because I was a lot more of a mark growing up, and it was, you didn't really know so much. Yeah, well, yeah. And you believed so much more of it. And you really couldn't tell as a child and growing up, I guess, you couldn't tell who was going to win the Royal Rumble, right? Where now it's going to be 1 out of like 5 people, right?
Yeah.
Like this year, you could say John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, or whatever.
I think there'd be like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, well, I used to love that feeling when I was younger of who's it going to be? It could be anybody, right? And the shock of who it's going to be, which you don't really get these days. I mean, I get why, because it needs to be in the main event at WrestleMania, but do you think they're really dropping the ball with just occasionally having a really big underdog winning the Royal Rumble and making somebody win it and elevating that person? Because I think they are.
Yeah, I think, thank you. Yeah, I think so. It would be quite exciting would anyone really be unhappy if someone like Chad Gable won the Royal Rumble out of nowhere?
That's what I mean. Like, how good would that be? It would be so shocking and people wouldn't expect it, Oh, man. Imagine like Tommaso Ciampa comes in and you're like, yeah, he'll do a good job like Chad Gable, but they're not going to win. And then they do. That would be huge.
Well, I wouldn't hate it because I was a big fan of NXT Black and Gold. So, hey, if you want to put Ciampa or Gargano in the main event, go for it.
Yeah, I freaking love Ciampa. I love him.
I'm just going to turn on my light real quick.
You go for it. Thanks. Growing up, I always felt like the Royal Rumble began a new season of WWF WWE. No idea why, maybe because it was usually always in January. But Matt, you're not wrong. That is the way it is. They call it the road to WrestleMania for a reason, because WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl of wrestling. It is the grand final. So the Royal Rumble is where it really, truly begins. Classic NXT was amazing. You know what? I still think NXT is amazing. I think they had a low point when that was the NXT 2.1 or whatever they called it.
2.0.
2.0, but I love NXT, man. I absolutely adore it. All right.
NXT is what got me back into wrestling, so I've got a soft spot for it, but especially that Black and Gold stuff from like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Oof.
Yeah.
Love it.
What about the original show where it was like a game show for wrestlers?
I remember that.
Yeah, that was
not
bad.
really for me.
That was pretty bad. All right. So we're going to go through the matches, which there's really hardly any. And before we do, let's talk. Well, no, we can do it. We can incorporate these two things at once. So obviously we have the men and the female Royal Rumble themselves. With the female Royal Rumble, Samantha, do you have any predictions of people that are going to shock us by returning? People that you wouldn't expect to come, or people that you hope to come back?
For a return, I think Becky Lynch for sure.
Yep.
She is under contract.
Yep.
So yep, Becky, and she's been at some of the Netflix PR events. So Becky for sure. I would love. I'm very hopeful here. I would love to see an Iconics return.
Oh yes, that would be.
And
fantastic.
I saw something today that they will be wrestling in April, some event in April before WrestleMania. I think that might be an event around WrestleMania weekend.
Wow.
So okay. I don't know. I think that's a possibility.
I'd lost track of them both individually. The last I heard was I've already forgotten their names too, but one of them had a baby. And
Peyton Royce had the baby.
Peyton
I think they both had a baby.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope they come back because I loved them. I thought they had such a great sense of humor. That was so funny.
Oh, I'd love to see them teaming with Chelsea Green.
Yeah, God, that'd be great. Yeah. I'd love Kenny Omega to come out during the Rumble, but I don't think he'll go to WWE. No way. That will never happen.
I don't think he'll ever go to WWE.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss is another one, Matt, although there is contract disputes happening at the moment. But, in saying that, what do we really know? I heard she wanted to come back on a new contract, but WWE wanted her on her old contract because she still had a lot of time left on it, but obviously with her maternity leave. So I think they're in a bit of a stalemate at the moment of what's going to happen. She was already meant to be back as far as I know, and she hasn't. But you are correct. Alexa Bliss definitely could be coming back. I've never watched wrestling, and I know very little about it. So this is a genuine question. Are these big events rigged in any way, or are the wins authentic? Darth, I would love to say they are authentic, my friend, but no. No, nothing in wrestling is authentic other than the actual pain that they do go through to bring the show to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're obviously not really punching and not really doing stuff, but they are still getting bashed and they are still getting thrown, and they are, it's a really fine line. And I think it's why people like Samantha and myself and all these other wrestling fans out there truly appreciate wrestling, because it is an art form. And even though it is scripted, it's definitely not fake because they really do get injured a lot. Just last week, we had, what's his name from the Judgment Day during a match, the Irish fella, break his ribs.
Oh, JD McDonough.
JD McDonough break his ribs and puncture a lung.
Yeah, didn't just break his ribs, he punctured a lung.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai as well. She's out with a concussion.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, I think it's more about you try to injure your opponent as less as possible, but injuries are going to happen. If you ever want to know more, Darth, hit us up, man, especially in these new videos. Nothing more than I would love to do than to educate somebody on wrestling and get them to watch it, because it is, to me, just like watching Neighbours or Home and Away, but with some violence. Yeah. Nick Nemeth Ziggler feels likely with the new TNA deal. You see, I'm not sure, man. I mean, what do you think about
Nemeth? Nick Nemeth is that what he's wrestling under now? Is it Nick Nemeth?
Yeah.
Him and his brother are fighting for the NXT Tag Team Championships, I think, next week. That was announced today.
I'm wondering how those deals work, because, like, obviously they let go of Ziggler and then he went to TNA, and now WWE and TNA are doing their thing. What's the relationships like there? Like, hey, guys, you got rid of me. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think we're getting the Knockouts champion from TNA, Masha Slamovich. That might make an actual appearance. I agree. That's a very good point, because she did make a crowd appearance the other day at the last event. Was it the Saturday night's main event? Maybe I can't remember where we saw her, but we did see her recently. Maybe someone from Noah to come out. Kaito would be an awesome surprise. That would be. JD is a dog. I'll be crying after that. Yeah, bloody oath, man. And he finished the match.
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he makes everyone look so good.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw.
I think another surprise I think would be Jordynne Grace debuting properly as a WWE superstar.
I would put money on the fact that she's definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble, because I hear she's signed now to WWE, and she put out a tweet saying, because someone said she's going to be in Indianapolis, which is where the Royal Rumble is, and she put out a tweet saying, no, I am definitely hosting my mother's 50th this weekend. But last year...
Oh, she's going to be there.
Well, last year when she was in the Royal Rumble, she did the same thing.
Yeah.
She tweeted out saying, no, I'm going to be at home. So
we can read between the lines. That means you're going to be there.
Hardys, yes. Royal Rumble, though, no. I think the Hardys will be back in WWE. They have said they want to retire there, but I don't see them coming into the Rumble, to be honest. But you never know. Some other female names I'm going to throw at you. AJ Lee.
I wanted to talk to you about her.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I do.
I really don't think so.
I would love to see AJ
People
Lee
have been saying that for years.
Yeah,
and it still hasn't happened.
Yeah, but now Punk's back.
Punk was back last year.
Yeah, well, maybe she's like, we know. Listen, I love you, hubby, but we know what you're like. You got a bit of a hot head, and you don't shut your mouth, so you're probably only going to be in WWE for 6 months. I'm not going to go back to WWE only for you to get fired again. And now that he's not done that, you never know. You never know.
We'll see. I'd love it. I would love it. I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to say no AJ Lee appearance.
Okay. We've said Alexa Bliss and Jordynne Grace and Becky Lynch. Speaking of TNA stars, what do you think about possibly Tessa Blanchard?
No. No.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
Yeah, God, what a shitstorm that'd cause.
I don't think there's
Green
any chance at all. It's not even just her.
Yeah. I approve of the replacement of SingleIssue Steve. So do I, Tate. So do I. Could we see OmniBeau dressed as Mae Young? I don't know, man. Maybe if you become a for-lifer, a member, then we could organise something.
I love Mae. I met Mae when I was a teenager, and she was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was her and her handler, and I can't remember the story. There was that her handler was telling me about Mae's life, and it's a lot of stuff that's not like documented. It's not on YouTube or anything, but I can't remember it. Sorry, I can't share it.
The only wrestlers I've met, I've seen a lot of them, but the only ones I've actually met is Ivory. And when WWE Access came to Australia before the global warming tour,
that's going back.
Yeah, they had a rotating roster of wrestlers that were there for you to get signatures and all that. So I met Jericho, I met Brock Lesnar, I played Xbox with Randy Orton, and I was locked in a cage with Batista because they had a game where you had to be locked in the ring with Batista, and if you could make him smile or laugh, you won something. And I did an impersonation of The Rock. I'm going to smack down you and blah, 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 And I swear he smirked, but apparently he didn't. Randy Orton was great because I played, Xbox with him, and he was a cool dude. Jericho was fantastic. Brock Lesnar was an absolute prick. But I don't know if it was just playing his character. It was when Goldberg was rumored to be coming to the WWE. And I was so
2002,
excited.
Right?
Yeah. And I was so excited when I went to Brock. I went, oh, hey, Brock, here's my thing to sign. Oh, thanks for, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about the rumors of Goldberg joining WWE. And he doesn't even look up at me and he goes, I'll kick his ass like I do everybody, and throws my thing there that I've got him to sign next. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Would love to see Victoria in the Rumble. Yes, she now has a Legends contract with WWE, so it's very possible. Get that pop she missed out on during the Rumble in COVID.
If there were going to be any legends in the Rumble, who would you pick? Because I'd pick Victoria. Yeah, I'd pick Victoria. I'd say there's about 2 or 3. Michelle.
Without getting
Layla.
a lot of hate, there's not too many female legends that I actually highly rate, because a lot of them, as we know, weren't really there for wrestling, right? Victoria is definitely one of them. Ivory is another one. The superhero girl, Molly, I respect her as well. The girls that were there for really wrestling, which is why it's always bugged me that Trish Stratus has gone down as this legend in wrestling when you're not. You did nothing. You were Vince McMahon's plaything, and that's how you got famous. Okay. And by the way, another thing, Trish, you've ruined your face. Okay, you've just ruined it.
Ooh.
You were
Shots fired.
As much as I don't respect you, you were very, very attractive. You were very, very attractive. And now I don't know what you've done to yourself with the plastic stuff, but she shouldn't have done anything, because now she just looks, I think she looks horrible. What about yourself? You got any other legends?
Aside from Victoria, I think maybe Michelle and Layla. Because I think Layla's been open about wanting to do something again. Michelle's always a go-to.
Yeah.
She can perform in the Rumble pretty well. And there was another one I had in mind. I can't remember.
King Wookie, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, please let me know. Yes, there is. There's going to be a men's and a women's on the same pay-per-view, which is why there is only 2 other matches for the whole pay-per-view, because each one of them will go, each of the Royal Rumbles will go for about an hour each, give or take.
I think they go for just over an hour.
Yeah. I'll answer that in just a moment, Javier, when I go to the men. So continuing with the women, Michelle McCall, you said Charlotte Flair. Now, they spoiled her return, which I thought was a dumb move. They should have not advertised it. However, someone else pointed out that the reason why they may have spoiled it is because there's going to be even bigger returns in it. So if that's the case, then yeah, I sort of get that. The only last 2 females I've got here is Asuka.
Oh, sorry, one more. And for other legends returning, I think Nikki Bella.
That was the other name I was just about to mention.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was going to say Asuka and Nikki Bella. Asuka, we don't know whether she's cleared or not. She's been out for a long time, so it's possible. And Nikki Bella has been, as you're
I think she's been training again, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, but we haven't got any solid info on that. And Nikki Bella, as you're obviously aware, has been saying she wants to come back.
Yeah, and she was at the Netflix premiere, the Netflix debut a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Kelly would be cool. Do we know if she's cleared to wrestle? I don't think it's a matter of Kelly being cleared or not. I just don't think she's a wrestler anymore.
There's such a big women's roster now that the need for legends is just, there's not much of a need to fill those gaps with legends anymore. Yeah. I mean, some people like Victoria, I think, should be in it. But yeah. Now with women from Raw and SmackDown, you've also got some surprises from NXT. We'll probably have 1 or 2 women from TNA. A couple of surprises, maybe 1 or 2, a return like Becky and Charlotte. Yeah.
I was going to ask next to close out the women. Who do you think from NXT will be in it, or who do you want from NXT to be in it?
I'd love to see Julia.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to see Julia in the Rumble. I think Roxanne will be in the Rumble,
Me too.
which will be her third Rumble. Is that correct?
I think
so.
you're right. Yep.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be joining SmackDown or Raw imminently.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie Vaquer could be in the Rumble.
Yep.
Yep, those are my picks.
I think
I don't watch a lot of NXT anymore.
Fair enough. I think the only other two names that are a possibility would be I'm so bad with wrestlers' names when I'm on the spot. The MMA fighter, that's the Latino.
Okay.
Anybody out there help me out? She comes out. She's a real wrestler. They've done NXT Underground with her a couple of times, and I think she's really, really cool. I think she'll be joining Raw or SmackDown soon as well. And the other one is Carmelo's girlfriend. Hang on. This is teaching me to be more prepared for next time. Kalani Jordan is
Okay.
Camilo Hayes' girlfriend, so I think they really are big on Kalani Jordan. And the other one I'm talking about, MMA.
Is it Lola Vice?
Lola Vice. That's
There's
it.
people in the comments saying Lola Vice.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. I was typing and I missed that. Yeah, Lola Vice, I reckon, should be good in it as well. What are legends in the context of wrestling? Samantha, I'll let you answer that one as well.
Thanks, Bo. I don't really know how to answer this, to be honest. They're just women in women's wrestling, or just in general, just people who are no longer on the active roster, I guess. People who have retired and moved on seems to be they're now a legend.
Which
wrestling
I think is
uses
a shame.
that term pretty loosely.
Yeah, which is going back to my, I think a legend should be somebody that has done a significant amount to, you named like Lita, for example, I'd say is a legend because she's done so much and is a good wrestler. But yeah, I mean, they do use that pretty loosely. How would you guys repackage Charlotte Flair? I don't think you need to. I don't know how you would, to be honest. But thanks for the question, Little Fettuccine 68. How would you repackage Charlotte Flair? I think her gimmick is pretty good, to be honest with you.
I think Charlotte's a tricky one.
I think her gimmick of just being the best, the pedigree, I think that's good. Zarya would be good. I think they're really dropping the ball with Zarya. Do you know her, Samantha?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
She hasn't been on NXT for a while, right? She's been MIA for a few weeks.
Yeah. She's been in the background in the locker room talking, which is what I don't get. I think it's a real shame because the promos they did for her leading up were killer. I love them. Her on the mountain and the face thing and, all great. Who will be seen as first opponent for his last run? Oh. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Punk.
I don't know if is he going to wrestle before WrestleMania? I mean, aside from the Rumble, is he going to have an actual singles match on TV?
If he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, he'll definitely be in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a good point. I don't know.
But then how do you determine his first opponent? Is that going to be his WrestleMania opponent? Or is that like I think he'll wrestle some non-televised events, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to wrestle a singles match on television before WrestleMania.
Tell us in the chat, who do you think Cena's first opponent is going to be? Which Rumble starts first? Typically, it's the women. Usually, the very first match of the pay-per-view is the Women's Royal Rumble. Then they do a couple of matches in between. Then it's the Men's Royal Rumble. Cora Jade.
Usually, women starts. Usually, the Women's Rumble kicks off the show, but I don't know. There's just something about this Rumble that I wouldn't be surprised if the tag match starts the show.
Yeah, I'd
going
love to
back
see
to that classic, going back to that classic NXT Black and Gold sort of match schedule where the killer tag match kicks off the show.
Yeah. Matt, I've seen your comment in the chat there. You ever want to join a stream to help you to get through that, mate? Please, you are always welcome. Okay, would love to have you anytime, regardless of if you have anything to actually talk about and you just want to hang out. Okay.
Yeah.
Little fettuccine.
Sorry to hear about your mum, Matt.
I wouldn't mind. Cena versus AJ again. Yes, that's true. What's the plan now that JD got hurt on Monday? Well, he's probably going to be out for at least a couple of months, I'd imagine, which is bad because Judgment Day really have been sucking lately. So
yeah,
I was hoping they were going to go to it.
I'm kind of over the Judgment Day now.
Yeah. If Cena wins the Rumble and chooses Cody for Mania, maybe Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber. Yes, good point. And yes, absolutely, Steve. That's correct. Okay, moving on to the Men's Royal Rumble now. Same question. Who do you think is going to be a surprise entry, or who do you want to be a surprise entry, or who do you want to go in it? That's not obvious.
I don't think there'll be a lot of surprise entrants in the Men's Rumble, aside from maybe a couple of NXT guys. But even then, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe one, maybe two people from NXT, maybe Joe Hendry from TNA.
Yes.
Maybe.
I was going to say here, Joe Hendry, I would put money on Joe Hendry being in the Rumble as well. Like, I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
They want to test that pop because they did it in NXT and it worked. And people like myself, as soon as you hear that, say his name, man, I'm going to get out of my chair and just be like, yeah, baby.
Oh, Omos.
Okay. You know who my biggest NXT male that I want in the Rumble, because I'm just loving him, is Oba Femi, the ruler of NXT. Oh, I love that guy.
Nice.
I can't wait. That's right. Uncle Howdy. Yeah, okay. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, well, you'd kind of just expect him to be, wouldn't you? Or any other members of the Wyatt Six.
I think one of them's injured, aren't they?
Actually, yes, you're right. I just heard that today. I can't remember which one it is. We believe. That's right. I'd love to see Punk Cena one last time. Doesn't make too much sense with their storylines, though. Yeah, but they can write it. And
I think it'll happen.
Yeah, me too. Seth and Roman start the Men's Royal. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. But I
can't see it. I don't think Roman's going to wrestle for over an hour.
Oh, that's true. But that's a great fit. That I didn't even think to ask who's going to start them. Man. Oh, man. Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay. I'll throw some names out at you. Okay. So this one I think will be in it. Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Not sure if he's ready to come back yet due to his injury, but if he is, AJ Styles.
Okay.
That's
a good one.
One that I doubt, but there's a few rumors out there. Big E.
Ooh.
It'd be good. It'll be
We'll see
good.
about that one. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, The Rock. No, yes.
I have nothing to really say.
Are you a
I've
fan of
never
The
been a
Rock? Or
fan.
you just
I've
like
never been a Rock fan.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
never been a Rock fan. Like when I was watching wrestling in 2001, 2002, I was a Jericho fan. There was
Oh,
always someone who I liked more than The Rock.
yeah. Yeah,
Always.
okay. I don't blame you.
So I don't know. I hope aren't there Moana reshoots going on? Can't he go and shoot Moana?
I don't know. And we
Are
can
you a
say
fan of The
thank
Rock?
you. So it's funny. I loved The Rock growing up. I thought he was
Mhm.
just the best thing ever. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I used to call him the Superman of wrestling because I used to say if Superman had an ego and wanted to be a wrestler, that's The Rock.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to lie. The last few years, like don't get me wrong, I loved last year his heel work on Cody Rhodes. I loved that. I thought that was great.
Yes.
But I don't know. There's just a few things I'm like a little over, like I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like he's always got a soft spot in my heart.
I'm over the appearances that lead to nothing.
Yeah, that's my point. That's right. Like The Rock now coming out and being a face and saying,
Yeah.
good on you, Cody, that pisses me off. Like, unless you're gonna smash him later and it's a work, like, come on, man. You beat the crap out of this guy in front of his mum. Like,
Yeah.
you don't just come back from that and shake his hands. Let's get some more comments out. Well, I've got a few more names here. We've got a question. Who are your guys' favorite men's Royal Rumble winner? Top three. Well, okay. Oh God.
You go first.
So my favorite wrestler of all time is Eddie Guerrero. So WrestleMania 20, when Eddie Guerrero and you said Royal Rumble winners. Sorry, I was thinking of WrestleMania for some reason. Did Eddie Guerrero ever win a Royal Rumble?
I think Benoit won that year, didn't he?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're
Benoit
right.
won
Okay.
that year.
Well, then Benoit probably would have been one of them. And I know that's a tainted answer now, but I was a massive fan of Benoit.
Same.
Yeah, I loved him, man. Again, this is probably not an answer that I would say today, but when Triple H was injured for a long time, and then they made all those promos with Creed, they had the songs with Creed, and it showed Triple H gearing up to come back. I was like 15 years old or something, and I was counting down the days for Triple H to come back. And when he came back in the Royal Rumble wearing that jean and leather jacket, it was huge for me. So when he won that Royal Rumble, I was just ecstatic. I loved that. And I guess another one, again, I'm sort of over Rey Mysterio these days, but back then, Rey Mysterio winning was awesome. I loved that. What about you?
I would say Shawn in '96. Taker, I can't remember the year Taker won. Was that 2007?
I don't know. I don't remember years
2007,
anymore.
2008.
I'm over 40 now. I don't remember years anymore. My mind's a Royal Rumble.
I think it was 2000. I think it was 2007, right? When he was that. Oh, God, yeah, I think it was 2007 because then he wrestled Edge in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and maybe Rhea winning 2 years ago, and I loved how she won.
Yeah, good choices. Good choices. Not Rumble related, but what's your favorite gimmick match and worst gimmick match? I have always been partial to the Inferno match just because it's so hardcore. I always kind of hated the way they ended because it was just so cheap and nasty, but the thought of Inferno matches, I just absolutely loved. worst gimmick match. Well, it's probably Inferno match as well. So that's
Yeah.
what about yourself, Samantha?
Have they had an Inferno match since 2006?
Oh, I don't know.
Was 2006 their last one? It was, wasn't it? The
Well,
MVP Kane.
they've only had like 4 of them, I think. There hasn't been many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe worst gimmick match. Maybe Inferno as well. I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
I think 2006 was the last one.
You know what gimmick match I do love that they did in WCW that I'm surprised WWE never took, like War Games, and that's the one where they had the 3 cages on top of each other.
In WCW?
Yeah, it was the first cage you were allowed weapons. The second cage it was something else, and then the third cage. I thought that was a great idea.
That was wild.
Okay, going back to the names, Brock Lesnar. Yes, he was the other one I was going to mention. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't
had
either.
to throw it out. Yeah. The yin to the yang.
Do we need Brock? With all the big guys we've now got.
No.
Do we need Brock?
No, I don't think we ever really needed Brock.
Sorry, worst gimmick match, Uncanny Suit 97 just mentioned a great one. Punjabi prison match.
I was thinking that. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I was thinking that, but I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. What about Goldberg coming back?
Not in the Rumble. Maybe for a Saudi show.
Okay. And you said Joe Hendry, so that's all my guys. That's all the names that I had.
I can't see there being many surprises, to be honest. In the men's one, anyway.
Dominic to win the Rumble. See what I mean? Like, it's a shame.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I agree. I would love an underdog to win it, but the problem with it is that unless it's an underdog like Eddie Guerrero was at the time or Rey Mysterio, you know that they actually have a chance. If Dominic won, do you really think he'd win the world title at WrestleMania? I don't know.
Off who? Gunther or Cody?
Oh, either or, really. I think either one would be.
I kind of want to see him wrestle Gunther now.
Yeah. Rock to eliminate Roman, and we finally get it over and done with it. That would be great because, they need to get that match happening.
Do you think the match will ever actually happen?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. You don't?
No, not really. I think it'll stay being a dream match.
If it doesn't happen this year or next year, then I think it's over. They've missed the boat.
I think next year could be the only chance.
Yeah. Rock won't do a Rumble at this point. Yeah, fair enough. To risk with injuries. Yep. Well, that's why he amazed me at just coming back in general for that little run that he did. Jacob Fatu in the chamber match. Yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
That'll be good. R.I.P.
Jacob Fatu would actually be a good pick for most eliminations.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. Yo, guys, sorry I'm late. Jade Cargill and CM Punk for my predictions, which brings up a good point, Vanders, that I was going to say. The storyline going on with Jade Cargill at the moment, my prediction has always been that it's Bianca Belair and she goes heel, which is kind of what I'm hoping. Because Bianca's been a face for God knows how long. Even if I'm wrong, I think that storyline is going to come to a head at the Royal Rumble. I think Jade's going to come in and she's going to pick who did it to her, and that's going to be their feud for WrestleMania.
And you're thinking Bianca did it?
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I'm really hoping that is the case because I really like Bianca a lot, but I think we need to see her bad side now. She's done enough smiling and kissing babies for a while. You know what I mean?
I loved her in NXT as a heel.
Yeah,
when she was undefeated.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, I agree. I don't think any. I don't think any
either.
Yeah. Taker was 2007. There you go. You guys know your stuff. Well, so do people in the chat too. This is fantastic. Taker was 2007, but he wrestled Batista at WrestleMania 23.
But I think he wrestled Edge at 24 because I was there.
You were there?
Yes.
No way.
I've been to 3 WrestleManias.
Oh my God. You're only telling me this now?
Sorry. Yeah, I've been to 3 WrestleManias.
Crap. Oh my God. That's like one of my dreams. Oh, we've got to talk about this more later. Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right, I'll go through this while you grab. Yeah, you grab.
I will be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. We'll keep the ball rolling until you come back. Let's see here. We're getting a lot of comments. I really appreciate these guys. It's really great. Shinsuke, Randy, and Seth are my top 3 winners. Yeah, fair enough, man. I mean, Seth Rollins, I haven't liked for a long time because I miss him from his NXT personality. You know, the belt around and the grungy guy. I hate this guy that Seth Rollins has become. He is not a revolutionary. He is not a whatever the hell he says he is. No, he's not. He's a great wrestler, but stop it with the clothes, man, and just concentrate on the wrestling. And Randy's a great pick. Shinsuke, yeah, man, I love that guy.
I completely agree with you on Seth. I hate the clothes. I hate the clothes.
He just acts too much, you know. Somebody said it once that he's trying to be the Joker, Heath Ledger, the Joker, and I fully agree with that. I think he watched Batman and he's like, I reckon I can turn this into my character without being the Joker, and it just shows, in my opinion, man. You know, all this. Shut up. Also, I think an Inferno match was done in the last decade at SummerSlam with Bray Wyatt. Yeah, I think you're right.
Was it?
Yes. Leonard's right. That was the last Inferno match. Bray Wyatt did one. That is correct. Punjabi Prison. Yes, correct. Man, I hope my GOAT Randy Orton returns. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. He needs the title back again. It's been way too long.
I'm waiting for that Randy Cody feud.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I know. Especially because Randy keeps talking him up all the time. I'm the student of Randy Orton. You know they're going to do it, right?
It has to be done. There's so much history there.
Yeah. When Kylie came out to attack Randy during the Punjabi Prison match, I was so mad, yeah. Best gimmick match, Iron Man. Yes.
Judy on the forklift.
Yeah, actually, that is the best gimmick. I agree. Worst is the Judy Bagwell on a forklift. Oh man, what about all the ladder matches that aren't for titles, like the pink slip on a pole match, or the guitar match, or the whatever it is match? Oh yeah, those are all dumb.
Custody of Dom.
Yeah. Custody of Dom. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Javier Hernandez, great Khali, just couldn't help himself. No, he couldn't. What are you guys' numbers for both men and women for the first surprise? Yeah, man. I think you're gonna have to do one early, like surely in the top 10, right?
I think one of the women could be like in the first 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
They had Lita come out at 3rd in the 2018 one.
Yeah.
I think there's been some people come out pretty early.
I'm more likely to talk about who's the number 30th, because the 30th is always someone, that I've got more of an inkling towards. Like,
do you think 30 is going to be a surprise?
Not necessarily a surprise, but like I wouldn't be surprised if 30 is obviously somebody they don't want to wrestle much, like John Cena or The Rock or somebody, because that's usually
John Cena's a good pick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be shit if it's Cena, to be honest, because you want Cena to be in there for longer. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cena.
Yeah.
And for the women, I think the 30th woman has to be big, in my opinion.
Like AJ Lee.
Like AJ Lee, Jordan Grace, yeah. I think the 30th has to be somebody big. I just think that would work well.
With our luck, Charlotte Flair.
Yes. Everyone's been going, Naomi is the one who attacked her. I know they have said that, but I'd love it if it was Bianca. Look, I want Naomi to go bad as well. I think it's ridiculous that the bloodline don't have a female. It makes no sense to me that Naomi or Nia Jax have not been in the bloodline. I think that's a dumb move. I think Naomi's boring now. At least Nia Jax, she's sort of on her own, and you can see why. But
she's so funny.
But what's Naomi doing? Like, she's done nothing since she's come back. Dress her all in black, make her a real bitch, and join the bloodline.
I feel like if it hasn't happened by now, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
because that's something that really should have happened about 2 years ago.
Yeah. 3 WrestleManias. What? Yeah, I know my exact answer too, man. That's for you going to WrestleMania. See, that's awesome.
24, 25, and 26.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
You went last year. You're going this year.
Oh, no. WrestleMania 24, 25, and 26.
I'm gonna have to look up those cards to see what matches you saw. Oh,
I saw two. I saw the Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair match, and that was at 24. And then I saw both Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker matches.
Oh my god, that is fantastic! I think
Some
one of
good
the
matches
best
to
matches.
see live.
I think one of the best matches I've ever seen live was obviously in Australia, and I had really close seats as well. Triple H versus Ric Flair. I remember saying to myself, like, this is such a classic match. I'm so lucky to see this.
When was that?
Yeah.
Like 2005, 2006?
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't the global warming, because the global warming was The Rock and Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a few years later. I'll be damned.
I used to fly over to Australia for all of those like Road to Survivor Series tour, and I can't remember, but all those shows they had in Sydney.
Well, I'm dying to take Claudia, my partner, because she's never been to a wrestling show ever.
Okay.
And I would I would love to take her. So I was devastated when the chamber was in Perth, because tickets to Perth were just outrageous. So I'm waiting for them to come to Melbourne, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be going to the next one.
Aren't there rumors that they're going back to Perth?
Oh God!
I think I read something about a month ago that Perth is trying to get another show.
Oh man. Like go like, it doesn't have to be Melbourne. Like, go to Sydney or something, Like, I could. That's more affordable for me.
Yeah.
The one thing of Vince booking I miss is random ass Rumble winners. No, I don't miss that. I don't miss anything about Vince's decision making, to be honest.
No, neither do I.
Good riddance. We need him to get back to his roots. Tyler Black.
That might be going back a bit far.
Who's that?
That was Seth when he was in ROH.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I think I saw him wrestle 1 year as Tyler Black, actually. I used to go to some of the ROH shows before the WrestleMania events.
Thank you so much, King. Hopefully that love is more towards Batmantha, so she decides to come back and do these. Really appreciate it. Can you guys see Cody losing the title at Mania? Man, okay. I'm going to drop something on you right now, okay? That is going to be a hot take.
Okay.
I don't like Cody. I don't get it. I just don't get it, man. Like, don't get me wrong. His mic skills have impressed me over the last little bit. I've been very, very surprised, and I have a lot of respect for what he can do on the mic these days. He's great at it. But I hate his finishing move. Because
Fair enough.
Because when you look at the finishing move, the opponent's head never touches the mat. So all he's really doing is just spinning you around and your shoulders hit the mat. I don't see how that knocks you out. I hate his Cody cutter, and I've just never seen what is so great about him. It's kind of annoyed me, if I may be honest, that he was an up and comer in WWE. He didn't like where he was going, so he left. Don't get me wrong, all mad props to him for what he did with AEW and what he did in AEW. But then he came back and he was this automatic legend. And WWE treated him like he was a freaking legend. And I'm like, what has he done to deserve this status? And he's been that way ever since. And now he's like the best in the world. I was like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't hate him. I like him, but I don't like him to that degree. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Yeah. I like him.
So, yeah, I hope Cody loses. Viagra on a pole. I remember that. God, what was that?
When was that?
Yeah, I'm sure that's not something me and Rothy have a shared delusion. I'm sure that was a match once. I can't remember. The gimmick match with Paul Bearer in the tank being filled with concrete.
I'm looking that up. Oh my God, it's real. Billy Kidman versus Shane Douglas, 2000 episode of Nitro.
I can't remember the storyline behind it.
I was a WCW fan before I was a WWE fan, and so 2000 would have been the time that I was watching. I cannot remember that.
Yeah, no, I do. I couldn't remember who wrestled, but yeah, I remember the Viagra. Oh God, the gimmick match with Paul Bearer being concrete in the tank. Yes, when you hear him saying "Save me, Taker," well after his head is covered. Yeah, that was great. Save me, Taker! Save me! If Santino isn't in the 30th women and male, I'm going to write. Well, look, apparently Santino...
I think he could be at the event. I don't think he'll be wrestling. I think he could be on the show and make an appearance.
I don't think you will ever see... What was his female name? Santiano or whatever it is? Santina? I don't think you will ever see Santina. Yeah. I don't think you'll ever see her in a female Royal Rumble again. Because when he did do that recently, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there was a lot of backlash to it. That a female,
it was.
Yeah, and even he said he didn't really feel comfortable with it, but he went with it because they asked him, and why not? But yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen again. The males, maybe.
I thought it made sense at the time with the Beth Phoenix and Santina.
Yeah. That's true, and him and Mick Foley, the Snake and the Mr. Socko. Do you remember that face-off in the Royal Rumble? And then, oh God! Honestly, could see that Nikki Bella return. It's been teased, so it happens. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's true. Oh my God, we've got so many comments. My wish and maybe a big shout out, but I would like Penta to win the Rumble. Wow.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd actually like to see that.
Yeah.
Penta versus
Godzilla Fatu. I don't think he's going to debut in the Rumble. No.
No, I don't either.
That's with you going to the Rumbles, I believe, the WrestleManias. HBK and Taker at Mania was so cool to have seen that live. Absolutely.
So nice. I saw it twice.
I'm planning on going to AEW in March. We'll see though, Javier. If you do, mate, please feel free to come on the show and give us your review or just whatever. I want to know how it is. Take some footage for us. Will Cody ever turn heel? No, he won't, which is another reason why I don't like him, because once upon a time he said he never, ever wanted to turn heel. And I'm like, dude, it's a part of the business, man. Like,
I don't know if I believe him.
Well,
I think he's a liar. I think he's a liar.
I hope that's not true. Because to me, that just reminds me of like Ultimate Warrior, like, or Hogan. I don't want my character to... But he doesn't work as a face. Well, apparently he does, because that's what he is, and people love him. Yeah, I'm the anti-Cody crybaby. Cody's so much better as a heel, at least when he was in Japan and ROH. I need to see that. I have not.
Sorry about this light, by the way. This is really annoying. There's a light
all
like
good.
right above me, and it looks like I'm. I don't know. Looks like I'm Shawn.
I thought you were
Michaels
doing
or
the
something
Shawn
at
Michaels.
WrestleMania. I'm coming down. Yeah,
The Shawn Michaels God intro.
at WrestleMania. That's it.
Yeah. I think it's the AEW to WWE that helped Cody be so. Well, yeah, you're right, and fair enough, but it's not enough for me. Nitro at the end just sounds like a fever dream sometimes. Goldberg better not come ever. Wow. Fettuccine does
Didn't he
not
say
like
he's retiring this year?
Yeah, well, he's meant to be fighting. They've teased it, Gunther, which is why it'd be interesting if he came back in the Rumble.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see
don't know,
those chops.
Man, I used to love Goldberg so
Sorry,
much.
best comment from Troy at 916 for me. Bring back the Spirit Squad. Absolutely. I love the Spirit Squad. I was a massive fan of the Spirit Squad.
Oh my God. Why?
I love the Spirit Squad. I loved all of them.
Why? Oh my
Kenny,
God.
Johnny, Mitch, Nikki, Mikey.
Then you must have been a fan of also Shane McMahon's Mean Street Posse.
I didn't hate it.
Oh God, I hated that so
much. Who was that? So that Pete Gas and I can't remember.
Yeah, Max, my man. Thank you for joining. I don't know any kind of Rumble, but I'm waiting on my phone to charge before I go to the gym. So hello. Is that so that you can join the Rumble, Max? Bo is being all OmniDog with the chat. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Usually I'm up to date with these things, but we've been talking so much. It is, OmniDog today.
There's lots to talk about.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm not going to share your conversation that you're having with somebody. I know what turning heel means, but it still sounds like a dance move to me. Yeah, fair enough. For those that don't know, in case there is people, heel is the bad guy, babyface is the good guy. And look at that. All of a sudden, we're up to date with the comments. Should we bring back the television or cruiserweight? No, there is enough titles.
There's enough titles.
Yeah, we certainly don't need them.
They can't even work. They can't even, do some titles right, like the women's tag.
Yeah. If you had a chance to go back in time, what match would you have liked to have seen? Oh, man, anything with Bret Hart. What about you?
Maybe one of those like crazy TLC triple threat tag matches, like Hardy's, Edge and Christian,
boys.
Dudley's.
Yeah.
I think I saw them wrestle. I saw all of them wrestle once back in 2001, but not to see like the TLC match would have been a classic. But there's no matches that I think about that I'd like to see live, but there's wrestlers who I wish I could have seen while they were still alive.
Yeah.
Like Eddie in China. I don't think I ever saw Eddie live, and I definitely never saw China.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I don't think. Yeah. Eddie Guerrero to this day is my biggest heartbreak, So yeah, that's just shit. That made me forget what I was going to say now. Anyway, okay, so last but not least, we're going to be talking about the actual matches, right? So we've talked about the men and women's Royal Rumble. So we have two matches.
One thing we haven't done, we haven't predicted our winner. Do you want to do that now or at the
absolutely. End? Yeah.
Okay.
No, good on you. Go for it.
I think Charlotte's going to win the women's.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to say Cena for the men's, I think. It's a toss-up between Punk and Cena. But yeah, I think I'm going Cena.
I hope so, Fettuccine. I think he deserves it. But I don't.
I don't think he will, but I wish he won it a few years ago.
Yeah, true. I know that he has recently, not recently, but like his last contract was for a few years. So he's obviously happy. I think CM Punk's going to win it.
Okay.
I think Punk's going to win it because it's on his bucket list. I think he was meant to win it. No, sorry, he wasn't meant to win it last year. I think it's always been like behind the scenes that he was always meant to win it this year, and main event WrestleMania, because that's the two things they keep saying he's never done. And I think if Punk doesn't win it this year, I mean, yeah, there's always next year, but there's only so many more years Punk's going to be around for. I think everybody's expecting John Cena to win it, which is why I think he won't, and he'll win the Elimination Chamber instead. As far as
I'd rather Punk winning than Cena, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
But then who would he wrestle?
Well, Cody Rhodes. Did you see Raw?
Okay. I did see Raw. Sorry.
Yeah. So they're obviously setting that up. Yeah, see, the promo at the end of Raw convinced me Punk is winning. So me too. Can I ask a non-wrestling questions as well? No, you can't, Max.
No, you're not allowed.
Of course you can. He's really the only one with a story and a champion. Yeah. The females, man, I've got to be honest with you. I always struggle with the females on who's going to win the Royal Rumble. I really and honestly don't know. For me, I would love it if an NXT star won it, and that's how they get called up. I don't care which NXT star it is, whether it be Roxanne, Lola Vice, Kalani, any NXT female. I want them to win it. I think that would be absolutely freaking sick. Actually, and one thing that I've always loved about the Royal Rumble is predicting, as I'm watching it, who the final four are going to be. That's always been a huge thing for me ever since I was a kid, because I remember in your house pay-per-view. I can't remember the storyline, but the final four in the Royal Rumble for that year, it was all in the storyline, but there was controversy as to who actually won it or something. And the in your house pay-per-view after the Rumble, it was a 4-way match between the final four. And the only ones I can remember being in it was Bret Hart and Vader. But there was obviously another two. And ever since then, it's made me really focus on who the final four is every single year. And it's a little bit of fun that I have watching it. So this year, I think it's fairly obvious, but it could be, obviously could be wrong. I think it's going to be Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and then the fourth one is a bit iffy. I'd like to say maybe Drew McIntyre, but maybe Randy Orton. I don't know, but I'm definitely going with Cena, Roman Reigns, and Punk. 3 out of the 4 finalists.
Drew being one of the final guys, and they would be interesting with Punk and Roman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to know my final 4?
I do.
I'll pick final 4 for the women since you picked the men.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to go Charlotte. I'm going to go Io.
Oh, yeah.
Who I thought was going to win about a week ago. Now I'm thinking it's Charlotte. I'll go Bianca.
Yeah.
And I'll go a surprise. Maybe like a Nikki Bella. Again.
Yeah, that's actually quite plausible. That's very, very plausible. Have I started Rooster Fighter? Max, no, I haven't, because I'm moving house and I am dealing with getting rid of everything and putting it in boxes. And Rooster Fighter is in a box, so I'm very sorry. I'm probably not going to be reading physical books until the start of March again. But Batmantha, how far are you into Dragon Ball, and how are you liking it?
I've still only read the first 2 Vizbigs of Dragon Ball. Also, Rooster Fighter is on my list again. I think I've got volume 1 sitting in my cart somewhere. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But I loved those first 2 Visbigs. Loved it. And I've got the whole set now, 3, 4, and 5. I just haven't continued because I'm reading other things.
I am looking forward to it though, man. I'll probably buy it all before I actually start reading it. That's how I roll sometimes. Vander says he has Punk, Cena, Drew, and Roman in the men's, and I have Jade, Bianca, Charlotte, and Becky in the women's. Good picks.
I've got Lyra eliminating Becky.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. That's a good pick. I like that. I like that. Final for me is Cena, Punk, Penta, and Logan Paul. Oh no,
oh, Penta's a good one. I think Penta could be the Iron Man in the Rumble.
Oh, my no was for Logan Paul. God, I forgot about him. You know, like I have respect for Logan Paul for being able to do what he does for not being a wrestler. He's very, very good. But I don't want him in the Final Four. I don't want him main eventing WrestleMania. There's too many other people that deserve
I'd rather not have him in the match, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Will we ever get a Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny match? I doubt it, but you never know.
I don't think so.
Do you think it's worth to have Cena win the belt one more time? Yes, I do. I think somebody needs to break that Ric Flair number, and it's got to be Cena, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Cena. Also, just on Lil Fettuccine 68's comment before about Logan Paul and Bad Bunny, having 2 people who are learning how to wrestle a match on TV is never a good idea.
Yeah.
No matter how rehearsed it may be.
I think they need Drew. I think they need Drew or another heel in the Final Four, kind of all faces. That is true. Typically, you're very, very right, Rothy. But this is the first Royal Rumble under the Triple H era. Am I right? Or was it last year?
I think last year was. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, because like everything that we're used to could be thrown out the window now. We just don't know, you know? I just thought of the match that I would love to see in the past. The Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels Iron Man match. That's one that I wish I could have gone and seen. I want it to be Randy who breaks. And look, Randy's a good choice, but the problem
Isn't Randy still 2 championships away from it, though? Whereas Cena just needs the 1?
Yeah, exactly. And look how long in between titles Randy has. So I just don't know. Do you all think we'll get another double champion with a world title and mid-card title? Or thought they were going to do it with Cody and have him be US champ as well? If it's Cody, I hope not. If it's someone like Bron Breakker, yeah. You know, I think they should only do that to somebody if it elevates the person. And someone like Cody doesn't need that, you know, whereas someone like
I don't think anyone needs it right now.
Yeah. What do you think of King's?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know who.
Do you remember Titus O'Neil?
At the Saudi Rumble?
Yeah, he just didn't even straight under.
He went under the ring.
Oh my god.
That was funny.
This is why no respect to the athletic ability, but the guy's attitude, real life heel. Yeah, exactly. Randy is my goat, so we'll always say it needs to be Randy, but I won't be disappointed if Cena's. Yeah, fair enough. All right. So the last 2 matches. I
think Cena's more realistic.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have the 2 out of 3 falls match, the tag team titles for the Motor City Machine Guns versus.
I can't wait for this match.
Why? Tell me your thoughts about this match.
I think this is going to be a banger, an absolute banger. This is going to be like classic NXT Black and Gold takeover opening match. Like that's how high of a standard I agree.
100%.
I love the Motor City Machine Guns.
I love DIY.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an absolute banger. I think this could open the show as well. I think this would be a perfect opener as well. because you get people who are just tuning in for the first time, and here's the opening match, and then you keep on watching the show. Anyway, yeah, I think Motor City Machine Guns win.
Okay. They get the titles back?
I do. I don't know. Oh, I'm thinking about Triple H. Like, I don't want to get too like insider, but I'm thinking about Triple H's booking, and he likes doing matches over and over and over again.
Oh, here, look at this one. It'll end in a DQ with the Profits interfering. So
Triple H loves an interference.
I'm surprised the Profits are even still working there, because what's the thinner guy's name? Bianca's husband?
Montez.
I've been calling Montez a single star for years now. He's just got too much charisma, and he should have left. They should have broken up that team ages and ages ago. But there's obviously something wrong, according to the powers that be, as to why the Profits haven't split up and why they haven't done so well. They haven't won a title in like 4 years, and it's just it's shocking to me where the Profits have gone. But just quickly, did Kofi try staying in Rumble last year, or did he give up on that? I'm pretty sure he's given up on it by now.
We spoke about this right before the show went live. Yeah. I think he's given up after he screwed up a few years ago.
Plus, now being a heel, he's not going to want to get that pop. But the 2 out of 3 falls match. So I am a big fan of Tommaso Ciampa, and I was actually upset when Tommaso and Johnny Gargano got back together, because I thought that was sending Tommaso backwards. Just a week before that, Tommaso was talking about getting the IC title of Gunther, and I said to myself, yes, finally, he's going for a title, and maybe this is the road that Tommaso's going to go on to get better and better and to get to the main event. And then he went into a tag team back again. So that was a real shame for me. I think you're right. The Motor City Machine Guns are going to win the title again. I think it's going to be an absolutely freaking amazing match, because Triple H has not put a tag team title on a pay-per-view or a premium live event, whatever, in months and months and months and months. I don't remember the last time a tag team title was even on a pay-per-view. So for Triple H to put it in Royal Rumble, one of the big 4, and make it a 2 out of 3 falls, I think he has a lot of confidence in this match. And he's like...
Tag team wrestling, when it's good, there's like nothing better.
Yeah.
And I think this is gonna steal the show. And yeah, I think the Motor City Machine Guns will be playing a big part in like the tag team division being showcased a lot more.
Do you have any wrestling figures?
Yes. Yeah, they're right here. I'll grab them real quick.
Well, she's grabbing them.
Here's Beau's favorite wrestler.
I used to have the WCW Championship and the spinner belt. I sold them, which I wish I kept the WCW one. And yeah, I've sold nearly everything to do with wrestling when it comes to figures and stuff, which I regret.
I've sold a lot of wrestling figures. I got this one as well. And this one's cool because you can take the...
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Thing off. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Yeah. I used to have quite a lot more wrestling figures, like the old ones from 15 years ago. Like I had the 3-pack of the Legacy, Randy, Ted DiBiase, Cody, and I had some of the like Shawn Michaels when he had the chest hair, which is very weird. And Dakota. But now I really like these elite figures, and I wanted to collect mostly women's wrestlers, but I've only got 3. Every time I see them for sale, I just always pass on them.
Oh man. I used to have a statue of
Mhm.
Jeff Hardy leaping
Okay.
off the top rope backwards.
Oh,
And
nice.
it was so good, man. And then one day I moved house and it broke and I was shattered. Yeah, it was so good, man. Have you got any rings?
No. And I've been meaning to get one. Like when I go to Australia, because I don't see them here in New Zealand for sale very often, but I do see them in Australia, and I do want one to put some of these wrestling figures in.
I used to have the Elimination Chamber. Which was
Oh,
a great,
nice.
yeah, big one, man. But again, I sold everything with wrestling, you know. If I could have seen, I don't know. I think at the time when I sold everything with wrestling, I was thinking to myself, I'm such a comic head, even though I watch hours and hours of wrestling every week. When it comes to what I'm going to physically have, I just don't have the room for everything. So I got rid of the wrestling stuff. And actually, one little thing I've still got left, which will make you laugh, because I sold the actual replica. I kept this.
You're on a bit of a delay for me, so hold on.
Oh, I got this strap from a figure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I always just kept that as a little memento.
That's cool. The big gold.
Yeah. Okay, a few more questions before we get on to the last match.
Real quickly, I used to have those WCW figures that used to have the magnet in the fist, and they used to just stand like this, and you used to be able to move them like that. That'd be great.
Yeah, right. That's so funny. I don't like pay-per-views on a Sunday night, unless you're talking about Australia time, then that's fine. What role do you guys will play better if you're a wrestler, babyface or heel? Man,
Heel.
Yeah. Look, without sounding, yeah. Look, I think heel is always the easier one to play because all you've got to do is just be a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
But I got to admit, I think I'd be an all right babyface too. I think I would be.
Okay.
Who would you like to be in the next inductee in the Hall of Fame? Well, did you hear about the announcement of who has been confirmed so far? There's been one.
Yep, I have.
Triple H.
Mhm.
Look, I'd like China to be inducted solo.
Me too.
I think it's a shame that she hasn't been. But
I don't think it'll happen this year.
No. Has Dean Malenko ever been inducted?
No.
I think Dean Malenko deserves it.
Isn't he still working at AEW?
No, I thought he was working for WWE in the back.
I think he was an agent for AEW. I could be wrong.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see Demolition, but there's reasons why they're not ever going to be in the Hall of Fame, or at least for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd have to really think about that.
I think for me, it's now just all of the obvious ones, and they're all headliners, right? Like Bray and Batista.
Yeah, Bray would have to go in this year, wouldn't he?
But I think he'd be a headliner if he was to go in.
Yeah, true. Javier is a Kenny Omega and Jeff Hardy. Yeah, good ones.
Nice.
What's your favorite wrestling video game of all time? Well, I haven't played wrestling video. Like back in the day, I used to buy them every year. But after PlayStation 2, maybe, or 3, I didn't have a console for many, many years. Not until last year where I bought a PlayStation 5 and I was dying to get the latest one. And I still plan to. But now that they're already announcing 2K25, I'm going to get that. What about yourself, Samantha?
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I had a PlayStation 2, and I remember playing like Here Comes the Pain just over and over and over again. That's probably one of my last ones that I remember. And some of the early SmackDown versus Raw games. Yeah, but then I never had a PlayStation 4. so I just stopped buying. I haven't played a wrestling game for so long, but I do have a
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 now. So this new game that's coming out, that will be my first one that I get. But I do remember playing. I think there was a WCW. Was there a Thunder game?
Yep.
Was that for PlayStation or was that for? I've got
It's pretty.
I've got WWF Warzone for Nintendo 64 sitting right next to me. And I think I really enjoyed there was an ECW game for PlayStation, like the original PlayStation.
Thunder
really
would have been Thunder would have been pretty old if I remember it. I think that was in the prime of Goldberg's career in WCW. It was around that time.
Okay.
Look, I would love it if Jon Moxley came back to WWE. I really, really would. But I think for that to happen, he would have to have a serious talk to Triple H about what he would want. But I don't see him coming back, to be honest. I think he's happy. What about you?
I think with Triple H now in charge, never say never.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, who would have picked 5 years ago that CM Punk was going to be in WWE again?
Oh man, tell me about it. What are you guys' favorite crowd chants and negative chants? Favorite chant?
I don't know if I have any negative chants.
Yeah.
I used to hate the beach ball.
Yeah.
Like it was funny at first, and then I got really over it really quickly. For favorite crowd chants, I don't know. I like a good "This is awesome" when it's an actual banger of a match.
One of the reasons why I like NXT is because it's such a smaller crowd, so the chants are so much easier to create. And like, for example, just on the recent episode of NXT, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory were on it, and Austin Theory's talking, and the whole crowd starts chanting, "Turn on Grayson, turn on Grayson," you know. And I love that because that's what we're all thinking. We're all waiting for that to happen. So I love those sort of chants of the ones that we're all thinking. I don't like, I think it's in England. I've gone blank of what it is, but there's something that's very English that I think they do a lot that I don't like. Or am I thinking of the siren that they do? The thing. They do that a lot. And I'm like, okay, enough already. I think you've done it enough. It's like Australian ones constantly chanting out Aussie, 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 like for a good 3 hours. And it's like, enough's enough, guys. We get it. Love the old wrestling game. Still play SmackDown. Shut your mouth. Before we get into more questions, we've got to talk about the last match because we're running out of time. And the last match is the ladder match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes for the world title. Samantha, what are your thoughts about that?
I think Cody wins.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
I think it would be interesting if Kevin wins, but I think Cody wins.
Yeah, I agree, which is a shame because Kevin Owens is one of my favorites. There's going to have to be something special in this match. Like, there's going to have to be some kind of a spot, whether it be Kevin package pile driving him or them both being thrown off the top rung of the ladder. I don't know what it is, but I find it hard to believe there is not going to be one WTF moment in this match.
Yeah. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think that shot at the end of Cody standing on the ladder holding both titles, that's the shot.
I want the exact same shot, but at Kevin Owens. Unfortunately, Cody wins. I know, and I think Cody's going to always win for the foreseeable future, which is what annoys me about him. Kurt Angle moonsault or Io Sky all the way.
Can I have both?
Yeah, well, that's true. Can you have both? Yeah. Favorite tag team of all time, Samantha?
Ooh, you go first. I got to think about
Damn it!
this.
I asked you for a reason because I had to think. Favorite tag team of all time.
My problem
Look,
is that I could say someone and then, I mean, tomorrow I could think, damn it, like that's my
yeah.
actual favorite tag team of all time.
I mean, my favorite were the Hart Foundation.
Mhm.
But at the time, I loved the Rock and Sock Connection.
Okay.
I loved that. I loved the Daniel Bryan and Kane
Mhm.
relationship. I just thought that was great. I don't know how you could really look past Undertaker and Kane. That was an awesome tag team. Beer Money from WCW.
Mhm.
I loved Beer Money.
TNA.
Sorry, TNA. So yeah, man, there's been some pretty good ones. But yeah,
Mine would probably be the Hardys.
of
That was
course,
like the
of
time
course.
that I really got into wrestling was,
Yeah,
Hardys, Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys. But I think the Hardys, I was drawn to the Hardys, like I think so many people were.
yeah,
Um, Newer tag teams, I loved the Lucha Brothers, um, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY in
see,
NXT.
yeah.
There's
What
so
about
many so many tag teams from NXT, like Black and Gold. I loved oh, I've got another pick for um return oh, no, I think it's too early. I think it's too early.
say it anyway, in case you're right?
Alistair Black.
Yeah, that's a great point. Apparently, it can't happen yet.
Yeah, I think
Apparently,
it's slightly too early.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I'd love to see Alistair Black back. And I don't know what they do
What
with his gimmick because you've already got the Wyatt Six, so
you should just put him in that room backstage and act like he's been waiting for someone to knock all this time.
yeah, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. When do you think WWE returns to Australia? Well, if Samantha's
Sometime
correct,
later
it
this
looks like
year.
yeah. God damn it! It better be not Perth because that's just too expensive.
Yeah, I hope it's not Perth because I
Yeah.
I want to go to the show and I'm sorry, I'm not going to Perth.
Hmm. I was thinking Kevin could do it, but after that Punk Cody promo, I don't think Kevin will do it. Yeah, same. Young Bucks because they got me back into wrestling. Jesse James and Billy Gunn. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true. Mr.
Oh, that
Ass.
was
That's true. Imagine Ziggler or Nemeth. Last one for me. What's your favorite submission? Well, so it was always the sharpshooter for me,
okay.
but I've always loved in his prime because he changed it up to just a normal Boston Crab later. But the Lion Tamer from Chris Jericho, I thought
Yeah,
was always fantastic, man. The way he twists the body like that, I thought that was great.
I was gonna say Boston Crab because I love the Wars of Jericho.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's not really the move; it's the people using the move as well that make it special.
I don't like a finishing move that you don't think would normally like if I did a what's Cody Rhodes' finishing move? Not the Cody cutter, the other one, the round one.
Um,
Well, I feel like if you did that normally, that's one thing, but it's not really a finisher move. You know what I mean? Because as I said, every time you see it, you always see the head never touches the ground.
to
So a
me, it's
finisher
just it's
got to
such
be
a sorry, it's such a generic finishing move. The same way
yeah,
that like the overdrive or something was. I think MVP used that back like 15 years ago. It's just so
yeah.
generic. It's create a superstar, you know,
A
finishing
finishing
move.
move should be considered a finishing move. Something bang, or a submission move.
Yeah.
Usos are mine. Yeah, that's another one. We forgot the Usos. Mike Blodden, yep, true. Will you guys be doing a live reaction for the Rumble? Yes, we will, mate. I am going to be doing.
No, we're not doing a live reaction to the Rumble. We're doing a post show, aren't we?
Sorry, corrected. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So Fettuccine, we are going to be doing a review straight after the Royal Rumble, and I'm hoping to do reviews after every pay-per-view moving forward. But as far as this pre-show, it all depends on whenever Samantha's available. Plus, I don't think every pay-per-view you can necessarily have a good talk like this. I think the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, maybe a bit Money in the Bank.
Maybe Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber, maybe as well. There's a few that you can, but just the random ones, maybe we could do predictions and make it like a quick 10-minute video. That's always a possibility. But if you subscribe to Aussieverse, you won't miss it and find out. Seattle.
Thanks for watching.
It's not in Melbourne. I'll lose my shit. Tell us how you really feel, Vanders. I like that. No way.
Don't think this is happening.
I hope she never comes back. I can't stand her. Spirit Squad, yep. Max, we mentioned that earlier, my friend. You need to rewind. I really want to go, but if it's anywhere but Sydney, yeah, well, same here, Vanders. That's exactly right. If it's Queensland, like I may be able to squeeze it, but Perth, there's just no way. Have you watched the new Spider-Man animated show? Dude, what are you doing? This is wrestling, and yes, I have, and no, I didn't like it. Samantha?
Oh, I haven't watched it.
I'm not a fan.
I hope I do like it.
Well, I hope it grows on me. I'm not a fan.
What did you like about it?
They changed just so much.
Okay.
And I don't like that. It's what everybody goes on about Spectacular Spider-Man, the cartoon show. And everybody loved that. And I didn't like it because Harry was the symbiote and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, man, that's not the way it is. And yeah, we'll see. I really want to like it, but the first 2 episodes, I'm like, nah. Man, I would give my right arm to see Jericho back in WWE. I would love that. With all the shows that the Eastern states have gotten in the past, not just WWE, I'm ecstatic to get a couple over here in Perth. Yeah, Rothy, that's a good point, man. When the initial one was in Perth, even though I was angry about it, I did understand it from the Perth point of view. You guys have always had to come here. So it's 100% fair enough. Green male chili. Why, Max? Why? I never understood the Lex Luthor. Oh, why, man? If I get you, Dane, and put you on my shoulders, yeah, and I press you down here, and I press you down here, and I stretch you like this, that looks like it's going to hurt, man. I have 4 other green male cheerleader costumes just lying around waiting to be dusted off.
Is this a member of the Spirit Squad?
I tell you what, you find 2 other people and I'll join your Spirit Squad, man. If I had the PLE at the MCG, it would be a sellout, absolutely. Like 100%.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. They changed everything. Pete's new power is making really good milkshakes. It's so confusing. Dude, how about where the spider came from that gave him his powers? What the hell is with that? Like, what? What is with that, man? I've subscribed and turned on that bell. Good stuff, King Wuku. Oh, man, that's what I love to hear. Thank you so much. I couldn't get into the animation. Yeah, I'm a bit iffy on it. Everything was moving so slowly, like the mouths were moving slower than the voice acting. Okay, I didn't pick up on that. Lose the glasses and get a perm, then we'll talk. Spirit Squad. I'd do it. I'd do it, man. I'm telling you. Horizontal piggyback. Horizontal piggyback. Nah, man. Piggyback just means that you'd just be there. But this is stretching, Dane, when we see each other, I'll get you up and we'll have a go and see, all right? It's the same thing Max Ferrata said about about Irish whips. He goes, Irish whips would never work in real life. And I said, well, the next time I see you, mate, let me Irish whip you and let's see if it'll work. The one I think wouldn't work in real life is a Russian leg sweep, because I've tried to do that in a fight before many, many years ago, and I landed on my ass and I looked like a dickhead. And I live 15 minutes from the events this week and have no intention of being here downtown. If Logan wins the Rumble, get a perm. Oh, man. That's a good dare.
It's a safe dare because I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, but we made Steve dye his beard pink if we got to 1,000 subs. So there'd have to be something for it, King. Like if he wins, I get a perm, but what do I get out of that back? Right? Do you get us another 50 subs or something like that? My partner has just yelled in the background, "No, you're not. You're not getting a perm." So yeah, I guess she's the boss. We'll see. If Logan wins the Rumble, make Prime the official Aussieverse drink. I don't know if Logan Paul would go for that. And to this day, I still haven't even tried Prime. I have no idea what it tastes like. Do it. I'll get a perm too. Dude, you haven't got hair, brother. Definitely don't get a perm. Thank you very much. All right, going on about the WWE and Australia PLE, what event do you think it would be?
I think it would be something they just make up.
Look, to be honest with you, I've always wanted to go to a Raw or a SmackDown, which they've never done in Australia. So I know PLEs are the big thing, but I would love to go to a Raw or a SmackDown one day. That would be absolutely fantastic.
I think like how they did last year, they had the Bash in Berlin. They could do something like Bash in Brisbane, or they could even do like a Bad Blood.
Yeah. But if we were going to get a PLE other than WrestleMania, for me it's the Royal Rumble. I'd love to see the Royal Rumble. Obviously SummerSlam be a good one. And yeah, I don't know. I actually think seeing the Elimination Chamber would be kind of crappy because you've got the cage there, and depending on what seats you've got, I don't know how much you'd actually be able to see live, that is. I think it's probably better to watch that one on TV.
They might not even do a PLE in Australia this year. They might just do a tour.
Yeah. Money in the Bank, yeah.
Have they already announced Money in the Bank?
No.
No, they haven't.
No.
Yeah, but it's a little too soon because Money in the Bank happens before SummerSlam, right?
Yes, Money in the Bank.
They've already announced Clash in Paris, and that's in August after SummerSlam.
Money in the Bank has changed when they do it over the years, but I think typically it's around maybe May, June.
Last year it was July.
Yeah, so I'm not far off. I'm in Australia. Batmantha is in New Zealand. For me, the Rumble will be starting at 10 a.m. So
and for me, it starts at 12.
Yeah, so which means I'll be going live at about 1, maybe 2 o'clock, depending on when it finishes, and 2 hours later for Samantha. WCW did 2 weeks of Nitro in Australia back in the day. Oh, I don't remember that. But I would love Raw or SmackDown. Wow, okay.
I think every country in the world would love anything that's now on Netflix.
Yeah. Bash in Brisbane sounds adorable. Massacre in Melbourne.
There you go.
Massacre in Melbourne. Slaughter in Sydney. I don't think we get a major one like Rumble Mania. No, well, neither do I. But Vanders, I never would have thought in a million years we'd get Elimination Chamber. So, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think any of the big 3. Yeah.
Would come here, yeah. Oh, man.
I never thought Saudi would get a Royal Rumble.
That's true. That's true. I think one of the reasons they're doing that is because they've signed such a long deal with them and they're getting paid so much money that every single PLE they do in Saudi Arabia always has to have a hook to it, whether it be a 50-man Royal Rumble, whether it be that new title they made last year, whether it be a dream match. I think it's possible that they just didn't have anything and they just went, screw it, let's just give them the Rumble. Or they paid extra for it. Who knows? Either way, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. They've got the money for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. 2 Maxes are telling you to get a perm. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. 2 Maxes to my 1 Claudia, though. Saudi Rumble is the worst decision ever. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we
don't have to worry about that for another year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know about you, Samantha, but I, no shit, thought this whole show was possibly going to go for 10 minutes.
I did too.
Maybe
I
only
didn't bring my
half an
charger
hour.
for a reason.
I'm so sorry that, like, if you didn't plan or you had other things to do.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, man, I didn't want it to end because we just kept getting conversations, and it was good conversations and great questions, great interactions, and I believe a few more people have found Aussieverse. So
that's cool.
I want to thank everybody out there for being a part of this. I've wanted to do wrestling content for so long, but I always wanted to find somebody to do it with. I never really wanted to do it on my own. I did say I was going to bite the bullet and start doing it on my own if I couldn't find anybody. And Samantha was on a show on OmniDog's show, and they started talking about wrestling, and I threw her a message, and I'm like, hey, I'm planning on doing a Royal Rumble. Would you like to be on it? And I was blessed with her answer to say yes. Will Samantha be back? I really, really hope so. Time will tell. Samantha, again, doubly thanking you again for joining us for such a long time. I really, really appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun.
For everybody that asked a question, for everybody that answered a question as well, thank you so much. This had a lot more interaction than I ever would have assumed. So it makes me hopeful of the future of wrestling shows in Australia. I know that your time is very valuable. You could have been watching a movie. You could have been spending time with your loved ones. You could have even been watching another YouTube channel. But instead, you decided to spend your 2 hours here with Aussieverse. And that really means the world to us. We'll do the last few comments here. Maybe one last question. Has there ever been any wrestling and comics crossovers like Macho Man? Ooh, yeah. Join the Defenders or something? Not to my knowledge. There has been wrestling comics, many wrestling comics, but a crossover, not that I remember. Samantha?
Yes.
Do you know the answer to that?
I don't think there's been any crossovers that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
There is an AEW comic out at the moment, I believe. I think they had some stories in some DC issues recently. There's some older comics. I think in the 90s, Undertaker had a little comic book and a few others.
Undertaker, Kevin Nash, Austin, Ric Flair, they've all had their own comics, but crossovers, don't think so. Thank you very much. Steve, how much of this did you actually watch? I'm really surprised. Like, you don't watch wrestling, so great stuff. Aussie versus Spirit Squad. No, it's not, Max, but that does remind me to ask Batmantha the most important question of the night. I have been using this slogan, made it a part of Aussieverse since day one, because I am old school wrestling here, and I liked it, and I wanted to steal it for myself. And nobody's ever really picked up on the fact that I stole it from wrestling. So I'm going to get called out now. That's a lie. One person did call me out on it recently, actually. He said, you stole that from the NWO. And I went, that's damn right. Samantha, end the show with telling us, what is Aussieverse?
Aussieverse is for life.
That's right. For life. We will catch you on Sunday after the Royal Rumble with the live review. Will we be crying? Will we be happy? Will we be laughing? Will Samantha and I get into an argument because her things happened and mine didn't, or vice versa? Who knows? But it's going to be exciting. I know that I'm going to be really pumped. I know Samantha's going to be pumped because this is both our favorite pay-per-view of the year. So we really hope you guys join us. Obviously, you can catch it on the replay if the timing doesn't suit you guys. But if you're going to be staying up and watching the Royal Rumble live, head over to Aussieverse to watch us, please. Leave your comments in the chat about ideas that you think we should do to make this better. Unless you think it's perfect, let us know in the comments as well. We really, really appreciate it. Aussieverse is for life. Samantha, you've been an absolute superstar. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody else,
thanks for having me.
So much. Catch you next time. We need an outro video.
One day.